guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video it's going to be super casual, super chatty. Just got a cozy hoodie on, minimal makeup. My hair is just doing its own thing as usual, and I just wanted to do a really cozy, chatty Q&A video. I can't remember the last Q&A I did, but I decided I wanted to do another one, so I asked for some questions. I said that they could be more personal or just things I'd not answered before, and I got quite a few, so I'm going to get straight into this video because I don't want it to be too long, although we all know how bad I am at making my videos really long and chatting too much. But let's get on with it. So the first question is from Aaron, and he said, where do you see yourself in 10 years? That's really hard because honestly I don't know what I'm going to end up doing. I have quite a few goals in life that I want to achieve, but it's whether I will have achieved those or if I will still be doing that in 10 years time, or if I will have gone down a completely different path. In 10 years time I will be 30, nearly 31, which is crazy. By then I would probably want to sort of be like settled down and like married maybe. I don't know. It's hard to predict what you want in 10 years because your opinions and lifestyle choices and goals could change by then, because that is quite a long time away. But I would hope to just be healthy and happy. And that sounds really cliche, but that is what I want for 10 years time, and hopefully doing a job that I absolutely love and I'm not settling for anything that I'm not as passionate about. So hopefully I'm still doing my performing and things like that, but we shall just see what the future holds. It's quite scary to think that far ahead in the future, actually. The next question is from Chloe, and she said, who is the most important person in your life and why? Oh, these questions are pretty difficult already. That's hard to just choose one person because obviously I have a number of important people in my life. My family, my friends, so many people, and all for so many different reasons. One of them has definitely got to be Luke. If you don't know, if you've not watched my channel before, you don't know me. Luke is my boyfriend, and yeah, he's sort of important for many reasons, obviously, but we became friends around like Christmas time in 2016 because we were doing pantomime, and he came to help on the school's tour, and that's how we first like got close, and then became like best friends. And he literally like was my best friend and still is my best friend. He always really cheered me up because over the past, I don't even know how long, you know, I've been, again, if you've watched my videos before, I struggle a lot with like mental health and being insecure and stuff, and the list goes on. But he always lifted my spirits. Like, we got on really well and always had a really good laugh together, always went on like fun little adventures. And then I went through a breakup and things didn't end on good terms, shall we say. And he was there for me throughout that, like was really sweet to me, really helped me out. He was already coming over that night anyway. I sort of spoke to him and told him what had happened, and he was like, oh, do you still want me to come over tonight? I was like, yeah, it'll cheer me up to see my bestie. And he brought over fruit shoots and some like sweets. That sounds really weird, but he knows that they're like my favourite, and I know I'm such a child, but it was just really sweet, and I really needed someone like that. And obviously I had lots of people around me who were supportive and helped me through stuff like that, but obviously him especially, like, he was just my best friend and still is, like I said, so it was really nice to have him there. I realised this has just turned into my relationship story, but as time went on we got like closer and closer, and now we're in a relationship, which is crazy because I never expected that from the start of our friendship. And this all happened after I broke up with my ex, obviously, although many people like to think that I cheated, but I did not. Just gonna put that out there. We're getting personal in this Q&A, so I might as well just throw that out there. lots of people liked to think I was cheating because they assumed things whilst I was still with my other boyfriend, but honestly nothing was going on at this point. He was just my best friend. It was afterwards things happened and like we got closer and ended up getting into a relationship, but people like to think differently. But anyway, this has gone way off topic, and yeah, he still to this day helps me through literally anything I'm struggling with. No matter what, he is always there to help me. I struggle a lot with my anxiety and stuff and mental health, and it's been really bad over the past few months. I mean, it's never really that good, but it's been really bad recently, and he has 100% been there for me. He's literally been like my rock, and I don't know what I would do without him really. Every single day he always does something to make me feel better, and it's just, he's just amazing and really, really thoughtful, and he just helps me a lot, and that is why, and obviously he's my boyfriend and I love him a lot, so that is why he's so important to me and one of the most important people to me. I know that got really soppy and I really hope he doesn't watch this because he'll cringe, but yeah, I've been struggling a lot recently, but he's really helped me out with, like, the list is just never ending. He just helps me with everything. I could make a whole video on this, but yeah, he is very important to me. I'll stop now before I start crying because I'm just an emotional wreck. The next question is from Stacey, and she said, what are you most looking forward to in 2018? Honestly, I don't know if it's even definitely happening yet, but you may have heard me talk about it in previous videos and vlogs, but we are potentially going on a very exciting holiday this year, and I know I keep talking about it but not really explaining it, but to be honest, I don't want to get my hopes up too much because just in case it goes wrong, but I am 90% sure it's happening. It's just not been booked yet and just trying to finalise things. So yeah, if that happens, that is basically the thing I'm most looking forward to this year, and once you find out what it is, you will see why. Other than that, I'm not sure because I really don't know what this year holds for me, to be honest. I'm excited to just spend another year with family and close friends and Luke, and I think it's going to be a good year. I don't know if it'll beat 2017 because I really loved that year, but you never know. The next question is from Carla, and she said, what trips did you enjoy when you were at school? I used to love all the trips, to be honest. I just used to love getting out of the school environment and doing something different, even if it was like something not that exciting. I always ended up really enjoying it because it was something different, and I liked just being out of that environment and somewhere else. One of the trips I really enjoyed was actually my history trip in year 11, where we went to, oh my god, I can't remember where it was. We went to a museum. I have no idea what it was called. I can't remember. I can't even remember where it was, but it was to do, we were doing about like crime and punishment, and it was something to do with that. I can't remember where it was. If anyone was in my history group in year 11 and is watching this video and you know what I'm on about, then let me know. But I really enjoyed that trip, which is really random and really nerdy, but I am a nerd, so you know. I did go to France for the day with school in like year 7 maybe, or year 8, I can't remember, which was really cool. That was one of my favourites, to be fair. That was a really cool experience. There are a couple of the ones I remember the most. 2 very different trips and quite random, but yeah, I just loved going on school trips in general, no matter what it was. The next question is from Cara, and she said, what is the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you? And I think I answered this in a previous Q&A, and I said something about when I like tripped over outside of college. But honestly, I do so many embarrassing things, like I can't even think of one that is the most embarrassing, to be honest. Most of the time it's just my family trying to embarrass me, because my family are crazy. I love them, but they're all crazy, and it's usually something to do with that. Also, I always get really embarrassed when people watch my videos in front of me, so... But this isn't a very exciting answer to this question, but honestly, there's just so many embarrassing things I've done in my life. I couldn't tell you. The next question is from Lindsay, and she said, how does dog walking and spending time with dogs help anxiety? Which may sound like a really random question, but if you don't know, if you're new to my channel and my videos, I work as a dog walker, and Lindsay, who asked this question, is actually the person that I work for. I started in about September time, and it's a really fun job. I just get to walk dogs. So it's for like people who maybe are working a lot and they don't have time to walk their dogs on certain days, so I go and walk the dog for them and stuff like that, or if people are away on holiday. So yeah, and it helps anxiety, and like walking and spending time with these dogs helps my anxiety, because obviously going for a walk is one of the best things for anxiety. That is what a lot of people say. If you're anxious or stressed, go for a walk and it will calm you down. And so obviously it's the perfect job for anxiety, really. And I love dogs, and spending time with them is really therapeutic and just makes me happy. There are a lot of days where I feel really anxious or just not mentally well, and I feel like I just want to stay in bed all day and I don't want to leave the house. And that sort of gives me, because it's my job, I obviously have to go and do it and have to leave the house. But if it was sort of optional to like, oh, maybe I'll go for a walk tomorrow, and then I wake up the next day, I'm like, no. But this way I have to. I'm walking, fresh air, getting to see dogs, and it's really good for mental health. Even if you don't suffer with anxiety and stuff, it is really good to do that sort of thing. Just get out and go for walks as much as possible. So it really does help in that way, and yeah, I think it hopefully will improve my anxiety as time goes on. Now I have a couple of questions off Paige, and she said, if you could be an animal, what would you be and why? I'd be something like little and cute, like a bunny rabbit or something. I like rabbits, that'd be cute. Or a dog, because I feel like a dog's a really good animal to be, because they're just so happy and just get so much love, and I don't know. I'd also like to be a dinosaur. I'd probably be a dinosaur because I'm really good at dinosaur impressions, but although Paige probably wants me to act out the animal that I think I would be, I'm not going to do that, so soz. She also asked what song represents how you feel about life right now. The one song that is like my favourite song ever and always speaks to me on so many levels is The Climb by Miley Cyrus, and it just means a lot to me, and the lyrics to it are so accurate, like so accurate. Things you want to go for but something's holding you back, but you just keep going. This is me with my big aspirations in life and always putting myself down or getting rejected and getting knocked down, but having to push myself back up, and this song motivates me so much, and Miley Cyrus is one of my favourite artists ever. More recently, a song that has definitely represented me, definitely spoken to me and made me think, wow, that is very accurate and really motivating and empowering and just incredible, is This Is Me from The Greatest Showman, which is a film that came out on Boxing Day here in the UK, and if you haven't seen it, you need to go see it. It's incredible, and I've been listening to the soundtrack on repeat since I went to see the film, and This Is Me is so incredible, and it's like, I am proud of who I am, and I may not be perfect, but this is who I am, and nothing's going to change that, and not going to let anyone get me down. So I feel like that's very important for me right now. It is very like reflects on my life at the moment, because I really do doubt myself a lot and put myself down and don't believe that I'm good enough, and this is such an important song to me at the moment. And to be honest, so is like all of that soundtrack. Songs like A Million Dreams, that is amazing. It's like A Million Dreams Are Keeping Me Awake, and From Now On, that's another one. If you want to like know how I'm feeling right now, just listen to that whole soundtrack and you'll sort of get the gist of things. The next question is from Sophie, and she said, do you have any New Year's resolutions and have you stuck to them so far? I was going to write down a list of New Year's resolutions, but I haven't got round to that yet. But to be honest, the general sort of New Year's resolutions are to be more positive about things, try to look on the bright side of things more, just enjoy life as much as possible, work on my anxiety and mental health and make sure that that's better, keep auditioning for Disneyland and applying for Disney World and any other jobs that I really want to go for, and just making sure that I am working towards everything that I want, and that is sort of the main goal. And in terms of have I stuck to them so far? Yes, because I applied for the Disney Cultural Representative Programme for Disney World and I went for it again, and that was one of my goals. I'm going to be auditioning for Disneyland Paris a lot more this year, which is my main New Year's resolution, because last year I only auditioned once and that's really annoying, and the next time I audition it will have been a year since I last auditioned, and that was my first ever audition. So yeah, this year I was going to go to the January ones, I couldn't get to them, which is really annoying to start off the year, but from now on I'm going to get to as many as I can. So yeah, they're the sort of general resolutions for the year. I guess you could say I'm sticking to them so far, but they're sort of things that I will have achieved in the long run, so can't really have fully achieved everything just yet, but hopefully things will go well and we'll just have to see. The next question is actually from my mom and she said, if you had your life over again, would you change anything? And obviously there are a lot of things in my life that have impacted me negatively, like a lot of really bad things have happened in my life, or difficult decisions I've had to make, or things like that. But to be honest, I like to look at it as, although it's a very cliche thing to say or live by, I like to think everything happens for a reason. And I honestly do believe that. There have been a lot of amazing opportunities that I've had that I've turned down, which still annoys me because they would have been amazing, but at the same time, for example, I'll just give an example. I got a scholarship for a performing arts school, which is amazing, and it would have been so cool to go there, but I turned it down because I would have had to move away and I just wasn't ready yet. I was only 16. I just didn't feel comfortable with it yet. But if I had moved away, it might have meant that I didn't go to college when I did, and I probably wouldn't have gone there at all. I wouldn't have met the people I know now. Then I wouldn't have heard about the musical theatre place that I go to at the moment, where I do the pantomime, and I wouldn't have met Luke. And I'm really happy that I have had those experiences. So although I do sometimes wish I'd done things and stepped out of my comfort zone more, I am kind of glad that things happened how they did, because there are some things in life that I'm really lucky to have now, and I wouldn't have had those things if I'd have gone down a different path. So although you should take opportunities if you think that it's going to be right for you, sometimes it's not always going to be right for you, and don't worry about any decisions you make, because at the end of the day things will work out for you and you'll be happy that you made that decision for one reason or another, or multiple reasons. So honestly, no, I wouldn't change anything, because I think things have happened this way because they were meant to happen this way, and yeah, that is my thoughts on that. That got very deep, but that is honestly how I feel about that sort of thing. Next question was from Matt, and I think he was saying, are you going for Litchfield's Got Talent again this year, and your reasons? So I think that's what you meant by the question. I was involved in a talent competition called Litchfield's Got Talent. So it was like a little town. I don't know if any of you are from around that area, but I went for it because I'd heard a lot of people talking about it, and it wasn't far away from where I live. So I got to the finals the first year. I didn't win, but then I went for it again the following year and got to the finals again. Didn't win again, but there was a really high standard, so it's understandable. And then I went for it a third year running and got to the semi-finals. I didn't make it to the finals. So although I really enjoyed the experience of it, it was really, really fun. I won't be going for it again this year, and that is because I think they're probably sick of me now, like 3 years in a row. They've probably had enough of me. Matt, who asked me this question, actually has gotten to the semi-finals himself this year, so congratulations, massive well done to you. And also so have my good friends Abby and Holly, who I used to dance with, so if you guys are watching this as well, well done. Awesome, it's really cool, so hopefully I'll be going along and supporting those guys. The next question is from Aaron, and he said, what do you value the most in life? Honesty, really, because I feel like that is really important, and I have a lot of trust issues all because of past people in my life being absolute arseholes really, and not being very trustworthy. I mean, I've always valued honesty obviously, but like I'm even more insecure and paranoid now and struggle to trust people, not because I don't think they're trustworthy, just because sometimes you just feel like you can't trust anyone when you've been like treated that way so many times. But yeah, honesty is one of the things I value the most, and it's so important to me. Loyalty, and just I really value the close friendships and relationships I have in my life because they are so important to me at the moment. So a number of things, but yeah, honesty, one of the main things. The next question is from Gilbert, who also has a YouTube channel, so I will link that down below if I remember. I'll try and remember. If not, search for Gilby P and you'll find him. But anyway, he asked me, would you rather lose an arm or a leg? So I would probably rather lose an arm, because then it would be easier for me to like still continue with my performance career and like dancing and stuff. And I know there are ways around it, like you can get like prosthetic legs and things, or certain things like that, but I think I'd rather lose an arm because then I would be able to dance still. I just think I'd be better off losing an arm rather than a leg. Hopefully I won't lose either, but there you go. Now I have a few questions from my friend Jude, and the first one is, what is your favourite Disney movie and why? My favourite Disney film is Peter Pan, and that is because I just love Peter Pan. He is so cute and so cool, and I just love the whole concept of the story, just never growing up and how it's important to not grow up. And I don't want to grow up, so I feel like I can relate. I just really, really, really love it. Then he asked me, what is your favourite musical? I honestly don't know. I've never really officially said this is my favourite musical. One that I have seen a couple of times now is Wicked, and I do love that a lot. And I love Mamma Mia as well. I've never gone to see that, like the show, but I've watched the film, and obviously I know the music, and I really like the storyline of that and everything. The Lion King, actually. When I went to see The Lion King, that like, wow, I literally can't even put it into words. Maybe The Lion King or Wicked. I don't know. He also asked, if you could get anyone to play you in a movie about your life, who would it be? I'd probably like to have someone like Emma Watson, just because I think she's amazing and I feel like she would portray my character really well. Or maybe Lily James. If you don't know, she's been in quite a few things, I think, but I know her most from the live action version of Cinderella. I don't know why, but she stands out to me as someone that could play me in a film. I don't know. Yeah, they're the two that I can think of off the top of my head. I think that would be really cool. Or maybe Amanda I never know how to say her last name. Amanda Seyfried. I don't know how to say her last name. She plays Sophie in the Mamma Mia film, so yeah. Then his final question is, if you could be anyone in the world, who would it be? There are a lot of people who I really admire and look up to and want to be like them, but I don't know if I'd ever want to be anyone else. I was gonna say like someone like Zoe or Zoella, but then there are a lot of downsides to that because she's so successful and so incredible, so beautiful, but she gets a lot of hate and there's a lot of pressure that she has to deal with and stuff like that. So there are downsides to all these people that I can think of. So I feel like I just want to be myself, but then also there are a lot of things I don't like about myself, obviously. Maybe someone involved in Disney in some kind of way, like someone who works for Disney, I don't know. Those are all the questions from Jude, and they were really good questions, so thank you for that, Jude. The next question is from Becky, and she said, what is your dream job? I have done a video on this separately, but you guys might not know. My #1 dream job in the whole world is to work at Disneyland Paris, or maybe one of the other Disney parks. I would love to work as a character / parade performer at Disneyland Paris, or even one of the other parks, but Disneyland Paris is the one that is easiest to audition for and it's closest to home, so it's not too far out of my reach. But then also basically working at one of the Disney parks is my absolute dream. Even if I wasn't performing like the cultural representative program, that is one of my biggest dreams too. But yeah, basically to work for Disney at one of the parks. But it's quite a hard thing to get into. Again, I've done a separate video on this, which I will try and remember to link down below as well. If not, you can go up to my channel and find it. It's called On My Mind, My Dream Job, I think. So yeah, I'd just love to work at Disneyland. Just imagine it. I mean, you never know. I could get there one day and absolutely hate it, but at least I'd know. I just want to see. And I just think it'd just be an absolute dream. And I don't know, it breaks my heart sometimes because I feel like I'm not going to get there, but I know that's the wrong attitude to have. Next question is from Sarah, and she said, what advice would you give to 13-year-old Esme after all the experience you've had? Just become a teenager, around the start of where my anxiety really kicked off, a time where I probably didn't really understand what was going on with my brain or my body. To be honest, I can't give myself too much advice because I am still struggling with a lot of things at the moment, but I would just tell myself that although this anxiety feels horrible, you will get better at controlling it. Although it's not really ever going to fully go away, it is going to be easier to deal with, and some days it's not. Some days it can be horrible, but some days you can power through even the worst anxiety attacks and it'll really help you. And also just keep going at what you're doing because you're doing a great job, and keep working hard towards what you want and it will happen. I'm still trying to tell myself that now, obviously. You're going to go through some pretty rough things in a few years' time, and you're going to have some very not nice people in your life that are going to twist things completely upside down, but it'll be better once you've got through it, and it will be okay. And I know that everyone says that, but it is possible to get through it, and you will. The next question is from Franny, and she said, what is the best performance you've ever been part of and why? And also some performing highlights of your career so far. I have done a lot of shows in my lifetime. A show that may not have seemed like a very large scale show compared to like big theatres that I've performed in. Well, not big, like not, I don't know, bigger theatres that I've performed in. This was a show at college, but it was my first ever show working with Graham, who I work with now, who we did the pantomimes with, and he came into our college. It was the first time I'd met him. We had an intensive week with him, and then we did a little performance at the end of it for like friends and family to come and watch. And that was the week that, I think I spoke about this in my first ever anxiety video, like over a year ago now, and that week was one of the most incredible, life-changing weeks of my life. As pathetic as that sounds, it is absolutely 100% true. I've always loved performing, but I've always held back, and I watch old performances, like old shows that I've done that we've like got a DVD of or something, and I look and I think, whoa, that's like a completely different person on stage. It's really strange. And that week with Graham changed everything because he saw something in me that I didn't know I had, and he really believed in me and gave me that confidence and believed that I would get somewhere, and still does to this day. And I cannot tell you how much that meant to me, because he was someone that I really looked up to from the first moment I met him, because he was a West End star. He'd played the lead role in Joseph, and he'd been in so many different musicals, and I just remember thinking, wow, this guy's amazing. And there were so many of us involved in that intensive week and that show, but I was one of the few people that he picked out as someone that stood out to him, and I got my own section in the finale of the little show we did, and it just changed me completely. It brought out this whole different person. I was like, oh my god. I remember, like, when I watched back that video from that week, it's insane to just see how confident I am and how much I just completely go for it. Still to this day, I've never like seen myself go for it that much, although I do work just as hard towards things now. I think it was just because it was such a drastic change from what I was like before that, and I'd been really struggling again with my mental health, and I very nearly didn't go in that week because I was just because it was optional, and I was just feeling so down and so anxious. It was one of those times where I just didn't want to ever leave the house, and I thought, I'll just go today, and if I hate it, I don't have to come back. I just needed to I forced myself to get out of bed, like pretty much dragged myself out of bed, even though I was just feeling horrible, and pushed myself to go in, and I cannot tell you how thankful I am for that. And I have spoken about this in the other video, and I don't want to speak about it again too much because I will cry again like I did in the other video, but that has honestly changed my life completely, and that is why that is the most important show to me that I think I've ever done. Even though it was a very small production, it was about half an hour long, and it was just at college, and it wasn't like a big like end of year performance. It was right near the beginning of my first year at college. And Franny also said to give some performing highlights of my career, definitely being Fiona in the finale of that little production. We did I'm a Believer from Shrek the Musical, and I was Fiona, and my friend Tom was Shrek, and we had so much fun doing that. It was amazing, and just that week for so many reasons was very life-changing, and as much as that sounds really pathetic, it's true, and that is one of just the highlights of my life in general, to be honest. But there's honestly so many different highlights from like my performing career that I could make a whole separate video on it, which I could actually do. So let me know down below if you would like to see that, if you'd like to see me do a video of like my top 10 performing highlights. Obviously I'd call it something better than that, but because I have so many things, like whether they're very like life-changing things like that, or it's like funny moments, anything, just let me know if you'd like to see that. I think that could be quite interesting. The next question is from Reed, and he said, what is by far your favourite show / musical / play? Probably again something like Wicked, The Lion King. Oh my god, that's so hard. I know it's not technically a show because it's a film, but I imagine it will probably get made into a show soon. The Greatest Showman honestly is like one of my favourites. I'm going to see Hamilton this year though, so you never know, that could become my new favourite show. I've heard a lot of great things about it, so I'm intrigued. Next, I have a few very random questions from my friend Elisa, and she said, what is your favourite veg? I really like sprouts, which is probably a really weird favourite vegetable to have. She also asked, how many times do you wash your hair? I wash it every other day, usually like every 2 to 3 days. And she also said, do you fold your tissue when you wipe or scrunch it up? This is a very controversial question because I scrunch, and a lot of people think that's weird, and I thought, okay, I'll try folding it, but it's just all kinds of wrong. It just doesn't work because then your hand just gets messy and it's just not good. No, I scrunch. Let me know down below if you scrunch or fold, everyone. Let me know. I'd be intrigued. I feel like it's going to start a big debate. The next question is from Connor, and he asked what my least favourite Disney film is, not including Star Wars or Marvel. That is a very difficult question. I really couldn't tell you, you know. I don't think I have a least favourite or one that I can think of on the top of my head. One of them would probably be Mulan. I do still like that film, but it's one of my least favourites because I don't like love it as much as I love a lot of others. That's really hard. I hate that question, but I also like that question because it's a good question because it gets me thinking, so thanks for that, Connor. Next question is from Annette, and she said, what is your favourite colour? My favourite colour has always been red, and when I was younger I used to love red and yellow, which I still do, but a lot of people think that is a very random colour combination, but I love the colours red and yellow together. And it also reminds me of Winnie the Pooh because he's yellow and he's got his red t-shirt, and I just think he looks really cute. I love red and yellow together. I just think they're really nice colours together, but my favourite colour overall is probably red, and pretty much has been my whole life. And the last question is from Oliver, and he said, what are your favourite songs to audition with? A lot of the time I like to sing Thank You for the Music from Mamma Mia. That is one that I tend to go for a lot in terms of auditions or performances and stuff. That is probably like the main one I'd go for. I'd probably like try and do a few more different ones more recently. I'd love to do This Is Me from The Greatest Showman, but I suppose that's going to be a really popular one at the moment, so I don't know. Usually I would go for Thank You for the Music. I just feel like it works for me, I guess. I don't know why I always used to pick that song. Just even all through school and college I sang it quite a lot. And that is all of the questions. I need to hurry up this ending because my battery has been flashing for a while now. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry if it was just a lot of ramble and a lot of information thrown at you, but I love Q&As because I can just chat and be open and stuff like that. Let me know down below if you'd like me to do any more Q&As, and if you have any questions for a Q&A down below. Let me know if they are for a Q&A so that I can throw them into a next video and not answer them in the comments. Or any other video suggestions you have for me down below, that'd be fab. Give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.